Every business that is there is a small business that's trying to survive.
No Illinois, no Michigan.
Nope.
This is all Indiana.
All
I'm fired
Indiana.
up.
Our farmers market, we are an incubator for small businesses across Indiana.
How do you pick who gets to be a vendor at the Carmel Farmers Market? From South Bend to Evansville and everywhere in between, this is Get In, the show focused on the Hoosier State and the incredible stories happening here today. I'm Nate Spengel, founder of Get Indiana, and I will be your host for today's conversation. Before we get into today's episode, I am joined in studio by Nicole Pence-Becker to give us an update on some of the cool things that Pence Media Group has been up to. Nicole, what do you got going on?
We got a lot going on, but it is summer in Indiana, which means Indiana State Fair, and one of our clients is the American Dairy Association of Indiana, so they represent obviously all the farmers that are out there doing the most to create dairy products and bring them to our homes. And if you ever go to the Indiana State Fair, you always have to go to the dairy bar. That's where you get the milkshakes and the grilled cheese and everything else, and it's so fabulous, and we love working with them.
Milkshake of the year, key lime pie.
Key lime pie, and I've tried it. It is delicious.
The State Fair runs from August 1st through August 17th. You gotta stop by the dairy bar, get some key lime pie, a grilled cheese. I may be even out there serving up some milkshakes, you never know, and you gotta hit the rodeo. I always say, go to the rodeo, go to the dairy bar. What else do you need?
Ride the rides. I mean, everything.
Now let's get back into the episode. Today I'm joined by Susan Bock and Randi Roger, two of the passionate leaders behind the Carmel Farmers Market. Now Susan is the market manager and she has been involved for over a decade, and she brings a wealth of experience in fostering community connections, while Randi is our newsletter editor for the Carmel Farmers Market. Both are part of the volunteer corps that ensures that everything runs smoothly week after week. The Carmel Farmers Market's mission is to provide their community with the freshest and healthiest food that Indiana has to offer, while providing a venue for small businesses to grow and prosper. I'm really excited to get into this one. We're going to talk about the 27-year history of the Carmel Farmers Market. That is a tongue twister. We're going to talk about the people that volunteer their time to make this thing come to life, and all of these small businesses that are being impacted by participating in the Carmel Farmers Market. That's going to get me. Ladies, welcome to Get In.
Thanks,
you.
Nate.
I am super excited for this one. I ventured to the Carmel Farmers Market now it's just going to be the whole episode. I'm just going to be messing it up. I ventured there for the first time last year. Two of my great friends moved up to Midtown Carmel, and they're like, you have to come up for the farmers market. And I'm like, I don't know. And they convinced me, and I went. And my girlfriend Lauren, she's like, we have to go to the farmers market and get the flowers and the blah, blah, blah. And so we went. It's an experience. There's like live music. Mm-hmm. There's so many good things to eat, to take home. It's like I came out of there and I was like, oh my gosh, it opened my eyes to what I thought farmers markets were and what the Carmel Farmers Market is. So I'm super excited. Before we get into like all the amazing, crazy, cool things that are happening today in that new, what's that area called right outside there?
Carter Green.
Yes, there, right? All that, the fun space there. Was it always there? Where does this whole journey start? Susan, I know you're the resident expert here.
Do you want me to start back from when the Carmel Farmers Market opened?
Yeah.
Okay. 1999, they became incorporated, and from 1999 until 2010, the farmers market was in a parking lot at what was called the city center, right outside the government building, and there were about 20 vendors there.
When that's like what I feel farmers markets like in my head are, it's
Correct.
like, which I think that's like the old school way that they started, right? It's like farmer comes in, the back of his truck sells sweet corn or sells tomatoes or sells whatever,
Exactly.
right? And it's funny because when I think of farmers, I don't like Carmel is probably maybe the last place in the city or in the state of Indiana that I think of. So, but this was in 1999. So these farmers were coming from like surrounding areas.
The mayor at the time, who was Jim Brainerd and was a relatively new mayor at that time, decided that Carmel needed a farmer's market. And so they sought different farmers to come to the market. And some of the people or some of the vendors were not farmers, but rather people who produced other products, flour vendors as well, like that. Anyway, so they were at that location until 2010. During that time period, the Center for the Creative and Performing Arts, where the Palladium was being built. So that's on one side of the green. On the other side of the green are two theaters. And the middle of that, which was called Center Green, has now been renamed Carter Green, was specifically designed and built for our farmers market. And if you've ever been to the Palladium or in that vicinity, there is a horseshoe. So you enter from the south, you exit from the north, and there are 64 vendor booth spaces that are 20 feet wide, and there's a bollard at the back of every one of those booth spaces that has electricity. So not only do we have exactly the same size of a booth space for every vendor has access to electricity.
And is that not a common thing across
no.
all farmers? Okay.
Oh, no.
So like
Oh, no.
only the pristine or the like.
From my perspective, most farmers markets are held in parking lots, so you wouldn't have access to electricity. But this was designed specifically.
Yeah.
For the market.
Which is so cool. I mean, and it's cool. I know that we did talk. It is operated outside of the city. Like it's two separate entities. You like rent the space from the city. But like back in the day, like to build something that was engineered to host a farmer's market, that's pretty cool. Merging of I don't know, entities there.
Exactly. I didn't live in Carmel at the time. I still lived in Cincinnati. But nevertheless,
We will not hold that against you.
Thank you. I was never a Buckeye. I was a Hoosier born and bred. The city of Carmel obviously was heavily involved in the construction of that.
So you moved to Indiana in 2004, 2005? Is that what you said?
10.
2010. Okay. And then how quickly did you get involved with the farmers market?
By January of 11, when the Palladium opened, I started started working with the farmers market, and the summer of 2011 was my first summer to volunteer.
Okay. And so how long did you volunteer before you like got really ingrained into everything?
I would say probably 3 or 4 years. Then I started working with the vendors, and then it just evolved to the point. By 2017, I was running the winter market. We have a winter market as well as a summer market, and I've run that ever since. And I just have become more and more involved with
What
the vendors.
got you so fired up about being involved with the farmers market?
I wanted a volunteer activity. Some of my friends introduced me to the farmers market and said this would be a great place for you to work. I have great organizational skills, and so
And she has a whole like binder here on the table. Like, yes, I can definitely tell you have great organizational skills.
And so, yeah, it was a win-win. And I really do believe, we're there for two reasons. Number one is to bring the freshest and best to our guests that come to the market, but even more importantly is to support small businesses, because every vendor, every business that is there is a small business that's trying to survive.
Yeah. Well, when did you take over, or like as the what's the word?
Market manager.
Market.
2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago. But you
yes.
were still working throughout COVID, right? Like that was like
Oh
you
my
were like
gosh.
starting to get not ownership role, but like a responsibility role.
Typically, our summer market is open May through September, and we have to close at the end of September so that the city can set up Christmas Mart, because that's where the summer market is located, where the Christmas market is. Then we go inside middle of October until the end of March for our winter market. The COVID year,
cold.
It was cold. Our vendors were devastated because, as you remember, in that March, it was like, okay, everything has to shut down. Grocery stores shut down. So it was decided among our board that we couldn't do that to our community, and we couldn't do that to our vendors. We moved our winter market outside. And it was cold, but at least they had a place where they could sell their product.
Yeah. Wow.
And then we moved to Center Green at the beginning of April, and yet it was still cold, but we were outside. And our market runs rain or shine. The only time we close is if there's lightning within 5 miles, and then we reopen as soon as the storm passes.
Okay. Well, I know that COVID was around the time that Randi, you got plugged into the farmers market. What brought you into this org?
We raised our children there. So we moved to Carmel in 2005, and we had 2 young daughters then. They were 3 and 6. And just like everybody else, and probably what you saw, we would bring our children there on Saturday. And so every year...
There is no shortage of children there.
There is no
That's right.
shortage of children there. And even when my children would go to summer camp in the summer, they would come home and say, we want to go back to the market. And they had their favorite vendors. And so the market has always been a part of me raising my family in Carmel. So fast forward,
Was it even in this 2005? Was it still in the area that it is now?
it's where Susan was saying it was back in the parking lot. Yeah.
Oh, so it was back in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, when did it get to the current space that it is?
2010. That's
2010,
because
okay.
the Palladium opened in January of 11.
Ah, okay, I'm following. Because I'm like, now it's in this like amazing spot. I didn't know back in the day. So you
I
remember
was
the
just
the gritty Carmel Farmers Market
I
days.
remember all of it, and I've known all of these vendors.
Okay.
And we've been, we knew where all the vendors were, and my girls, just like the kids today, they have favorite vendors that they have to see when they went every Saturday.
Yeah.
So we fast forward to 2020, and like a bulk of people, I had lost my job. I was at home like everybody else, and my husband said, "You need to find something to do." And so I said, "Okay, how do I volunteer there? They're outside, it's not in front of a computer, and I can get out of my house." And so I approached Susan and I approached the team and said, "How do I volunteer?" And at the time, I don't know that we were as organized with our volunteer efforts as I think we are today. So I just came on and said, okay, and started learning how to do different jobs at the market. I had a step up from everybody else because I knew where all the vendors were. I knew the vendors because I knew their products. I had been shopping there for the better part of a decade or more. And so it was easy for me to say, oh, you need honey? Go see blah, blah, blah. You need meat? Here's where I get my meat. And so I genuinely believed in what I was telling people. And then we've been very fortunate over the past couple of years to have somebody step up and actually have an onboarding program for our new volunteers. And I think that's really propelled us forward in how organized we appear, and then bringing in, I would say, a younger demographic to our volunteer efforts.
Yeah, how many volunteers and staff does it take to put on the Carmel Farmers Market?
Not as many as you think.
In the summer, we need about 26 people because
Per day, like per Saturday?
per Saturday, yes. We get there at 6 a.m. and set
Actually,
up.
some of you get there at 5:45.
Yeah. And we set up our portion of the market. We put out tables and chairs, and we set up tents, etc. And then the market runs from 8 until 11:30. And once 11:30 hits, then it's time to tear it all down
Is there
and
like
put
a
it all
bell
away.
or something?
There
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's a cowbell.
Yes, someone rings the cowbell.
That's right.
Susan rings the
Yeah,
cowbell.
start and finish.
And so it's 20 to 25 people on game day every Saturday morning that completely volunteer
Completely
to wake
volunteer.
up to go set up this farmer's market.
I get up at 4:45 every Saturday morning in the summer.
Just because you love your community? Like what
I
drives
do.
What drives you to want to be part of this?
I'm vested in those vendors. I'm vested in making that the best it possibly can be, and you got to be there and you got to connect with people, and it's like Randy said. I know every one of those vendors, and I maybe know some of them better than I should, but nevertheless, they're it's in my soul.
My husband is a serial entrepreneur, I like to say. And for us, it's the idea that we are starting small businesses. We give them that backbone. How hard is it to do a small business, Nate? I think you know better than anybody.
It's so easy. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so easy.
And so what we provide is that space for them to be successful and do what they do best, because doing the business part of it is not what they do best. They know their product, whether it's raising it or cooking it or creating a product out of it. That's what they do best. And it's not electricity and it's not setting up tents, right? And so we provide, I like to say, the umbrella or the skeleton for all of these small businesses so that they can grow their business.
Yeah, I mean, a big piece of it is like eyeballs marketing. The biggest constraint of a lot of small business is getting new eyeballs on their product to see it. And you were saying earlier, you're going to have between 4,000 and 8,000 people every Saturday?
Every Saturday, I can promise you at a minimum 4,000 to 4,500 on the early weekends. And by the end of July, I can promise you anywhere between 7,000 and 8,000 sets of eyeballs. Name me another brick and mortar that in a 3-hour period can have that many people walking in their store. And it's pretty rare that you can do that in central Indiana.
And let's talk Indiana. What brings 7,000 to 8,000 people to the market the end of June all through July? Randy?
Corn. It is corn, Susan.
Oh, corn. People will line up forever.
7:30 in the morning.
To get corn. Alan Beard, who owns My Dad's Sweet Corn, is right up in Tipton. Oh my gosh. People have already started coming to the committee tent asking us when the corn's coming in. A lady just this past week said, but there's corn at Meyer. I said, that's not Indiana corn. And we mandate every person that sells any product at our market, it has to be Indiana grown or produced.
Oh, wow.
Nothing can come.
Okay.
Ohio, Indiana, or Illinois.
Get them
no
out
way.
of here. Nothing.
Nope. Just
no
Indiana.
Ohio, no Illinois, no Michigan.
Nope.
This is all Indiana.
It's all
I'm fired
Indiana.
up. Let's go. So that takes us to an next. There are a few questions that I want to ask.
Sure.
So you're talking about My Dad's Sweet Corn in Tipton. How do you pick who gets to be a vendor at the Carmel Farmers Market?
A person who wants to become a vendor at the market goes to our website, carmelfarmersmarket.com, and across the top there's a Get Involved tab. Pull down on that, and it says Become a Vendor, and there's a page that tells the requirements of becoming a vendor.
What are the requirements?
The requirements are that you have to have Indiana grown or produced food or a product. You know, that's basically it. But anyway.
Commercial kitchen.
Yeah, and if you produce a product, you have to use a commercial kitchen. We do not allow any home-based vendors.
Oh, which
can't
that's probably
resell.
that's probably a difference versus like grandma baking pies at XYZ random farmers
Because
market.
unfortunately, we can't guarantee food safety and security with Grandma's Kitchen because we don't know what goes in and out of Grandma's Kitchen. So they have to use a county-certified kitchen to produce their product. And we do vendor visits.
You go check out the
do,
yes.
the health inspector is
Yeah.
coming to town.
Well, the health inspector comes to our market a couple of times a summer, but
Yeah. Every person who uses a commercial kitchen has to send to me by the 10th of every month an invoice from their commercial kitchen for the previous month, and it has to detail the days they were there, the hours they were there, how much they paid for their commercial kitchen
Because
space.
a lot of them probably use they don't have their own. It's like a shared space.
A shared space,
Oh,
exactly.
okay. So if you're like, well, there's food trucks there, right? Is
No.
it not food
We don't
truck?
allow food trucks.
No,
No,
who
There
does-
are-
There's
there are
trailers.
Trailers. I was gonna say because I was like, I know I got an egg roll something or other
You too.
last year out of one.
The-
So
these
that
egg
would
rolls.
be like a commercial kitchen, right? Like no.
No, because
those
a
egg
commercial
rolls had to be prepared in a commercial kitchen, and then they're fried on site.
Wow.
a commercial kitchen has to be certified by the county health department.
And where did you
wherever-
guys get to that point? Has that always been a
That's
thing?
always been.
Really?
That was in place when I joined the market in 2010.
Wow. Okay. I'm like looking through this because it's pretty cheap if you can like $200 to $400 for a season. Like,
It's gone up due to our costs. It's $500 for a booth space for the entire summer. Most vendors make that in the first hour of the first day.
the first hour of the first. Well, you're talking about the sweet corn vendor. Well, so that you don't need a commercial kitchen for sweet corn, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, only
Prepared.
products that
So
are
if you're like
produced.
cooking food, so like what about the waffles? I feel like the waffles are prepared
She-
right there.
She has, well, there are an awful lot of vendors at our market that own their own commercial kitchen because they also have a brick and mortar. Like Cindy Hawkins owns Circle City Sweets, which is down at the AMP. And so she prepares her food there and brings it to the market. If you own your own kitchen, you don't have to provide me with
I
that proof
got
because
you.
you've already got it.
But a smaller business uses shared space until they grow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you become the official sweet corn vendor? And how many sweet corn vendors do you have?
One.
Just one.
One.
So like these people are all oh my.
I will say that there are other produce vendors that bring some sweet corn, but that's all Alan sells is
Wow.
sweet corn.
And like how did Alan get plugged in the first place?
He's been there for 26 of the 27 years.
Oh, so
he
like,
can tell you the
OG.
story. He was selling sweet corn in
Was he selling his dad's sweet corn?
Yeah.
But
yeah. He was selling it in a parking lot somewhere, and it was against Carmel code where he was selling it. And so one of our councilmen told him that he could come to the market, but he couldn't sell it in that parking lot. And so, yeah.
That's like so cool. It's like, yeah, you can't sell that corn here, buddy. But if you pay us $200 a summer, we'll let you sell it out at the farmers
Yeah.
market. And now he's I can't even imagine. Like,
well, he's such an institution in Carmel that a couple of years ago for the 4th of July Carmel Fest parade, we gave corn out. We went down the street during the parade and handed out ears of corn, and people were running up to get free ears of corn off the back of his tractor.
that's the most Indiana thing, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. But you do limit the amount. Like you couldn't just have 20 sweet corn vendors.
Oh, no,
So
no,
like
no.
if someone applies to be a vendor, what classifications or like niche or like how many bakers and how many cookie makers and how many candles? No candlestick makers.
No candlestick
No.
makers.
Every person that applies or fills out an application to become a vendor, I get all of those applications. And I go through them, and I'm the first eyeballs to look at it and determine this is a product we need, this is not a product we need. Obviously, we limit that. We have 2 coffee vendors. We have 2 honey vendors.
Who are the coffee vendors?
The coffee vendors are Mission Coffee, Peter Beering, and Any Coffee Roasters.
Which one does the like delicious chocolatey coffee goodness?
You know, Nate, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I couldn't begin to tell you. I don't know. Randy?
Indie Coffee Roasters is just coffee. That they literally are just the coffee, and that is a fabulous product. Mission Coffee is the one that you on the green that does the different mix-ins and the flavors and the creamy sweetness.
It's like it's not a very big cup, but like it's a little like chocolatey milkshake coffee thing. It was.
Peter would
Something
appreciate
pretty
you
tasty.
saying that.
I put my straw in and I like looked up and all of a sudden half my coffee was gone and I was like had a little bit. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal.
Next time you come out, you'll notice that Susan strategically places, when we have multiple vendors with the same type of product, she strategically places them on different sides of the green, so you don't have the same type of vendor next to each other competing. So when somebody comes up to us at the information tent and would say, "Where can I get a cup of coffee?" I can point in either direction so that they can get coffee no matter which side of the green they're on.
Nice. Okay, so you have 2. Are there other things you have 2 of?
Oh, sure. We have 2 honey vendors. One's from Martinsville and one's from Sheridan. So if you
A little
want
north-south rivalry there.
well, you know, some people are of the belief that the closer the honey is, you know, comes from, then the better the health benefits are for you.
Oh, the less time that it has to like travel or
I don't.
The
That's
type
not
of
what it
the
is.
type of pollen and the type of flowers. So so your allergies come from what's in the air. So he's looking at us like we're crazy.
Wow.
Come talk to a honey vendor. They could explain all of this to
okay.
you.
So 2 honey vendors. Okay.
I would have to count them up, but I believe we have 7 produce vendors.
Okay, that's like
Obvious-
any sort of Indiana grown produce.
Yeah. We have one that's a complete fruit vendor. That's all he sells is fruit. But once again, other vendors sell fruit.
2 types of popcorn.
Yep, 2 different kinds of popcorn. We have
Pies, multiple pie vendors.
pies and sweet vendors. We probably have any kind of meat that you're looking for. We have pork, beef, chicken, wagyu, bison, lamb.
Yeah, there's one up at the one corner that is just like a legit meat
Becker
vendor.
Farms. Is
Becker.
Oh.
He's also a large animal vet.
No way.
Yeah, he is.
If I spend too much time in that corner, it's definitely dangerous for my
yeah.
checkbook, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I need some like bison and some wagyu. And like,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's so cool.
But
Yeah.
when you taste the difference, I tell people, I myself had never had the different kinds of meat, and I started eating Wagyu beef, and the difference you can taste the difference in the meat.
Oh yeah,
And I slice it with a butter knife is what tell people.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and you don't even have to go with a steak. I mean, they have Wagyu burgers.
that's
they have
true.
Wagyu hot dogs. So, you know, people that are on a limited and bacon. Oh yeah.
Tons of different vendors, but you do limit the competition. You don't want to
Yes.
have too many of this, that, and the other
Exactly.
thing. What are you missing right now? Like, what does the Carmel Farmers Market need more of?
You know, that's a tough question. I always ask the people on the board, the other volunteers, it's like, what product do you want? And I will find it.
And I believe this year you did. You came back with a kombucha vendor.
Oh yeah, we needed kombucha.
Well, there's a great story of why you need a kombucha vendor, correct?
Yeah.
So what is that story?
I'm okay. Mark LaFay, who owns Old Major. Anyone's familiar with
Old Major
Market?
bacon?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
is that like the honey or the maple bacon?
Oh, yes, they have
stuff?
maple bacon, yeah. Anyway, several years ago, Mark told us that there was a brand new business in town that we need to check out called, I believe at that time it was Circle City Kombucha. Anyway, 3 of us went to check out their business, and they were in what appeared to be like a warehouse down in Irvington. They had these giant tubs. I had no idea.
This is the Circle City Industrial Complex, right? Like
I have no idea. I'm not familiar with that vicinity because I didn't grow up here. But Yeah, I mean, I had no idea what kombucha was. I'd never even heard of it. But anyway, we decided, yeah, we'll give them a try. They lasted our market 1 year. Because after 1 year, their business just exploded. So they are one of our success stories.
Yeah. And you have other success stories like that, right? Smoking Goose.
Smoking Goose was with us 1 year too.
Okay, what's Smoking Goose? I don't know.
Smoking Goose is, have you ever heard of Goose the Market?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Smoking Goose.
Oh, they were up at the
They were at the
market?
Carmel Farmers
oh my
Market
gosh.
1 year.
And then Urban Ladle?
Urban Ladle, yeah, made soups, and they just their business exploded.
And they kind of
too.
they graduate out of the
Yeah,
the
they do.
farmers
I mean,
market?
it's a sad day when I get the phone call or get the email. It's like, Susan, we're leaving the market. It's like, well, what do you mean you're leaving the market? It's like, yeah, we just have too much business.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
that's cool because it gives opportunity for somebody else.
Right. I don't know if you're familiar with this. We had 2 summers ago, we had a young woman from Kokomo who had a vegan bakery and cafe in Kokomo, and so she sold vegan baked goods, which were very popular. And she sent me
And some savory food. She had some great soups.
okay, just all kinds of vegan foods.
What was it called?
It was Lucky Lemon Bakery.
Lucky Lemon Bakery.
Right. And she sent me an email one day last June and said, Susan, I have to drop out of the market. I have been offered my perfect dream job, my perfect job. And she said, I can't tell you anything about it yet, but I will soon. I said, okay. So, yeah.
What's going on?
You just wait. So anyway, she, about a month passed by, and she came to the market, and she said to me, she said, I can tell you now, she is now one of the private chefs for Jim Irsay. And the reason that she got, now wait a minute, the reason that she got that job was because one of the other private chefs for Jim Irsay came to our market, bought the vegan food, took it back. They liked the vegan food so much. One of their private chefs left. They hired Heather in to be their new private chef.
You heard it here first. If you become a vendor at the Carmel Farmers Market, your life could change and you could be a celebrity executive chef. Boom.
Is that not
That's
unbelievable?
awesome. Well, that is like that makes sense because if you think about the clientele of the people who go to the Carmel Farmers Market, they're probably, business people or like Jim Irsay's private chef or like these cool,
It's
different,
the
interesting
community.
people. Like, yeah.
It's people in the community.
That make stuff happen. Like, and if you get this opportunity to put your resume together, oh my gosh! Like, imagine that. Like, you have no idea who's going to come through there and try your food.
None at all.
That's wild.
My favorite is when I bump into a Colts player, to be honest with you. That happens every
You just
summer.
bump into these massive human beings. They're just like,
You know when they're coming down the street.
yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I do want to talk a little bit more about vendors, and then we'll round out the episode by talking about the guest experience.
Okay.
So when we're talking vendors, what's the furthest distance a vendor travels to come to the Carmel Farmers Market?
Well, the two furthest are 2 Amish vendors. One lives in Bremen, which is just on the south side of South Bend, and the other Amish farmer comes from Clay City, which is down near Terre Haute. And I take that back. We have a peach vendor that's down in Washington, Indiana, which is almost to Evansville.
That's not close. Okay,
No.
first off, you got to shout out Bremen. That's my buddy Andrew is an avid listener. He will love that. There's what does the Bremen vendor sell?
Produce.
Produce. There's a produce vendor from Bremen. Andrew, you're gonna love that. So we have Bremen, we have Clay City, and we have Washington.
Washington, Indiana.
How long have they been coming to the market?
The 2 Amish vendors have been with us for a number of years. The Washington, the peach vendor, is relatively new within the last 2 or 3 years.
That is a commitment to their business.
Well,
to drive
and that's
every
yeah.
But we provide the audience. Going back to incubating small businesses, where are they going to find that sheer number of people on a recurring basis in their towns?
and it's all year long, or do they get to sign up for summer or winter?
They can be at either market. Most of I would say during the summer we've got about 81, 82 vendors. During the winter, we usually top out about 60 because there are a number of people that either want to take a break or they don't have product during the
Well,
winter.
it's that is a commitment because they can't miss a Saturday.
Periodically they do, especially in the winter if the weather is terrible. I'll get phone calls that 5 o'clock in the morning that they're not going to be there. But
And some of our, I think some in the latter half of the summer, our attendance goes down. Football games are starting, school goes back, and festival season. So
Yeah,
we have a lot
festival
of the vendors, especially that do prepared foods, who can sometimes see more eyeballs during festival season.
well, and the flower vendors too. That if you run out of product, you
peter
can't
out.
You don't come to the market.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just like imagining like the commitment to your business. So you show up at the Carmel Farmers Market, you could be supporting a small town farmer from Bremen, Indiana, or a peach vendor from Washington who woke up at probably 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to drive the 2 hours to get to the market, and does that every single Saturday.
Yeah.
All summer long.
So we get asked a lot, Nate, why do you close so early? Because the folks that are local and close to the Carmel's
I actually
Green,
was thinking that.
they come down and they get frustrated because they roll out of bed at 10:30 or 11. They want to get breakfast. And we tell them, hey, just so you know, we're closing at 11:30. And they get very frustrated because they don't realize that farmer has been up since 3:30 in the morning, packing their vans, driving down, setting up. So for that farmer, it's an 8 to 10 hour day so that they can actually serve for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean they you'll shut it down. Like there'll be
Hardcore.
a ton of people still there. Like there was still live music going. Oh yeah, we'll get to that at the end.
That's my job.
There was still live music. Like the vendors all had lines, and all of a sudden it's just like, nope, it's over. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
As long as you were in line, you can purchase.
oh okay.
Yeah.
I'm the one who, though, goes and throws you out of the chairs and says, we want to go home. It's August and it's hot.
We want to let you know about an event that's happening at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. called Rule the Road. This isn't your typical driver's ed class. They're giving teen drivers real hands-on driving experience, stuff that actually matters once they're out there on their own. And they're doing it big. IndyCar drivers like Tony Kanaan, Connor Daly, Joseph Newgarden are all going to be there signing autographs. It's a great mix of safety, learning, and fun for the whole family. If you're anywhere near Indy and have a teen behind the wheel, this is something you should check out. Hit up ruletheroadindiana.com for all the details, and give Alliance Highway Safety a follow on Facebook and Instagram to stay in the loop. We'll see you at Rule the Road Indy at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now let's get back into the episode. For this, you have 3 vendors from all across the state. Who's the longest standing vendor?
We have 2 vendors that have been with us since the market's inception, and that's Phelps Family Farm. They sell beef, chicken, pork, and eggs, and they are in Ladoga. I mean, yeah, these are towns. Even though I grew up,
How did they 27 years ago? How did they find a farm in Ladoga?
I have no idea. I wasn't a part
Ladoga.
of the market then. And the other is the honey vendor from Martinsville. It's Hunter's Honey Farm, and their address, I think, is adorable. I can't remember the number, but they're on Honey Lane in Martinsville, Indiana.
And I'll tell you what makes their product special is they still sell the honey sticks, all the flavored honey sticks for
kids
25
love 'em.
cents.
Yeah.
So you can bring I would bring my daughters there, hand my daughters a quarter, and they could go up and pick from 12 flavors of honey.
So they've been there all 27 years.
The 2 of them
Who
have,
are
yes.
who are the newest? Do we know any new vendors coming in this year?
We have a number of new vendors. We've got,
Our mead vendor.
we have a meat vendor. Do you know what meat is?
Is that sweet wine?
Honey wine.
Yeah.
They're from Gosport, which is down near Bloomington.
I mean, you're all over the like.
But that's why
they
we
are.
want to make sure that people understand. You started the segment, Nate, saying Carmel. People don't need to go up to Carmel. We want you to understand our farmers market. We are an incubator for small businesses across Indiana. It just happens to be in Carmel because of the density of population.
Like, yeah, you're talking Gosport, Ladoga, Washington.
I mean, I could go down the list and tell you where these people are. They're from all over.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many new vendors did you bring in for 2025?
10,
I
12?
thought the number was 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them started at the winter market and then decided, they wanted to be.
Yeah.
We've got Hoosier Minis. These people make little bitty donuts on site and put
Fried
different
on
toppings
site.
on them. We have a young lady that makes the most fabulous baked goods you could ever imagine. Her name's Ave Martin, and her company is With Wonder Baked Goods.
We replaced
have
our
a-
kombucha vendor this year.
Yeah, well, that's right. We found a kombucha vendor in Franklin.
Who's the new booch?
Crossroads Kombucha, and they are selling kombucha
Like crazy.
like crazy.
What's
In
the
Indiana.
newest vendor that like is maybe the most unique, or do you like take any risks? I mean, not risks, but like, oh, we're gonna bring in something that's a little bit. I mean, mead's pretty different.
That's what I was going to say. I would
would've
say
said
that
that.
mead is definitely the most unique because most people don't know what mead is.
No, that's funny. I literally saw a meadery this past weekend, and I had to like do the research of like how it's fermented honey, and is that like how it's
That's
made?
exactly what it is.
And it gets you to like an alcoholic beverage. Are there like beer vendors at the?
We had a gentleman that was going to sell beer, but he couldn't get the proper licensing.
Oh yeah.
So he's still working on that.
And it's like 8 to 11:30. It's a little bit.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh, years ago, and I want to say this is maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, we had a bourbon vendor from South Bend.
Who was it?
Oh, his name's Charlie Florence. Mm-hmm. That just popped into my head.
Wow.
It's I can't remember. It's like South Bend. I can't remember the name of the company. Anyway, 4 of us went up there, sampled his product, obviously, and it's like, yeah, this is going to do well. Comes to the market, first market of the season, pops up his tent. It's Indiana Whiskey, maybe is the name of his company. Anyway, he's doing samples.
And I was there that day
at
because
8
I
o'clock
couldn't
in the
believe
morning.
it.
Unfortunately, there was some state senator, and I have no idea who it was, from Lafayette that was very much opposed to them selling spirits at a farmer's market, and they shut him down. He was there 1 week.
I happened to be there that 1 week
Were
because
you
I
really?
remember.
That's a shame.
Indiana Whiskey, that's his name, Charlie Florence.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Now we sell spirits at the state fair, so I think we probably could go.
I think we're past that point now.
Yeah,
That would be super cool, and I'm sure because that's also like a new form of like craft artisan distillery type
Correct.
thing, you know, like grain to glass. I know like our friends at Hard Truth and a bunch of other distilleries get the corn and all the grains that produce their whiskey from right here in Indiana, and then it ends up, filling your glass, which is pretty cool. Is there like a vendor that you guys are still looking for? Like, is there anything that I wish we really had a blank?
We have tried unsuccessfully, believe it or not, for 2 years now running to bring seafood to Carmel, Indiana, which is hard to do considering. So 2 years ago, we found a seafood vendor who used to come up on the weekends from Mobile, Alabama, so the Gulf, and would bring fresh seafood to Carmel. And we
This person would
drive a trailer.
They had a family member in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, who owned a
restaurant.
And they came to Elizabethtown and processed everything and then drove it up here.
And we just sell it in Carmel, like
Yeah.
He brought his trailer and would
to
sell
the
it.
farmer's market.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You wait, what?
Would sold it out. We did.
And he was pretty popular. I mean,
was.
he had sold crab cakes and all seafood. And yes, that's not grown in Indiana,
Correct.
but it's something, that's a product that was very popular. And so it's like, okay,
Wellness.
we'll make an exception. And it's,
Yeah.
it's part of our mission.
And I mean, if they're gonna drive it across the country, like
yeah.
It was fresh.
we might make an exception for that, right?
And then knowing the popularity and knowing that our market wanted to have some kind of fresh fish option, which is hard to do in Indiana, frankly, we found Aqua Blanca down in Indianapolis, Indiana. And
Agua Blanca.
Agua.
Agua
Blanca.
They
Yes.
grow shrimp in tanks.
That they used to be called something else.
That's it's. I don't know how it's pronounced, but
Shrimp.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh. It's like storage containers.
yes,
Yeah.
you know the story.
they're down in Hawville
Yes. What are they?
on Belmont. Agua Blanca is what they go by.
Agua Blanca.
And they were with us this winter. They just unfortunately couldn't keep up with the product. It's just
Yeah.
we're too big. There's a point where we get too big.
Yeah.
And they were having problems with their suppliers, so they had to. They were going to be at our summer market, but dropped out.
Yeah. They used to be called
Began with
Ataraya.
Yes, and I believe that's maybe their parent company.
Yes. And then okay, I'm following because I remember seeing this. They pull it up to an event I was at. They're like, go outside and see the shrimp farm, and it's like a legitimate.
Cargo tank.
It's
cargo.
it's a cargo.
Container.
Shipping container. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a shipping
Exactly.
container that's turned into a shrimp farm.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy.
And they would come to the market and they had a book to show you how they grew the product. So it fit our bill better than the Gulf vendor
Yeah.
because it was genuinely seafood that was raised and grown in Indiana.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis. even.
Indianapolis
Yeah.
of all
Which is wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's super cool. Okay. Amazing. So then let's round out the episode. Let's talk about visitor experience, the guest experience. Over the course, I mean, you first got plugged in 14 years ago as a volunteer. You've been going since 2005. Over the last 20 years, how has the guest experience evolved and elevated?
I work every Saturday at the center tent, with the information tent is what we would call it, or the committee tent. And I would say we've definitely seen a trend in younger, in who comes to the market. And then throughout the morning it changes. So your hardcore shoppers, they're there at 7:30, 7:45 because they know that the best produce can be purchased right as the stalls open, right at 8 a.m. So we definitely, and I would say that's probably an older crowd in most cases. And then as the morning trends on, we start to see the younger families. And it's over, even over the course of the last 5 years, it's been, as Carmel City Center has gotten more densely populated, we are trending to a younger demographic. And they're coming more for prepared foods and breakfasts and coffees.
Yeah, and maybe like taking home a little like loaf of bread or like a cheese
Flowers.
wheel or something.
The
some
flowers.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's like getting a walking waffle.
Yes.
You like
Are they
those?
are they
You-
still there?
Oh yeah,
And that's a multi-generational business.
it is. It is.
That is you need a recipe for like a Saturday afternoon nap. So get yourself a little walking waffle, then head to the couch. Your money.
She sells them in 6-packs.
Don't tell me that. Okay, so it's skewing. I will say, yeah, it's a cool place because there's some like space that your kids could just like play around in the grass, and you can hang out and listen to some music. When did the live music start?
Before I started, so even before we moved to our current
That
location, we had
seems
music.
innovative. Like I don't know if I've ever been to another farmer's market. Oh wait. I've been to one in Florida that had like a mariachi band, which was pretty cool. Like I loved that.
We have one volunteer whose job it is to just book musical acts.
Wow.
And people come up to us. And that's, I think, Nate, one of the things that makes our market unique is when you go and you've had this experience, you think, wow, this is unbelievable. And so on any given Saturday, I will talk to anywhere from 3 to 6 people who say, I want to be a vendor here. How do I become a vendor? And we'll have that conversation over and over.
How many people apply every year to be a vendor?
It depends on the month, but I would say I average at least 12 to 15 applications a month.
Let's say 100, easy math. 100 people a year apply.
Yep.
How many vendors get accepted?
Well, they have to bring their product. That's
Yeah.
our favorite Saturdays are when Susan will say, hey, we'll have a tasting here.
Is there a volunteer aspect for that? Can I be
She
a
just
guest
tells-
judge?
Yeah, well, yeah, we sample
Yes.
all of the food before, not the produce so much, but any person that wants to be a vendor at our market has to come before the board so that we can sample their product because, unfortunately, some people think their product tastes great and it really doesn't. So anyway, and we need to get a feel for the person who is going to be selling the product. Are they a good fit? Is their product a good fit? And sometimes we've been surprised. It's like, I don't think this is going to work out. It's like, yeah, it really did.
I would also say that at this point, when a vendor comes, one of the first things we ask is, are you prepared to see 4,000 customers on a given Saturday? It's more than you can imagine to have to prepare foods in the heat in August when we are up to 6, 7, 8,000 people on a Saturday.
That's true.
And so making
And the
sure
worst thing you could do is like bring a vendor in that maybe not isn't prepared, and then give a bad experience, and then they give a bad experience, and then everyone's unhappy.
Well, and we will hear it from our guests. They'll come up and say they're already sold out. They're sold out every weekend. And it's easier to say when there's produce. They can only grow so many peaches in a given Saturday. But it's also then maybe not a fit for us because they don't have an orchard that is large enough to handle the demand that, quite frankly, we put on our vendors.
Wow.
Right. So it's a give and take. And so on any given Saturday, Susan will say, we have a vendor that we need to try out. We like to start them for the winter. The winter is a smaller market for us. People don't want to come out in the dark and the cold and the ice. So it's a smaller number of people, so it's a safer way to start and build up and test your product, frankly, before summer.
Like what vendor sees the most people?
It has to be corn, but then Peter, I would say, with Cindy,
coffee.
Circle City
Circle
Sweets.
City Sweets and, Becker Farms back in that corner, they do a tremendous business.
If you had to give a rough number of like economic impact, like for the entire summer, like how much money is spent at the Carmel Farmers Market in a summer?
I don't think that we track that.
I never ask them. I will ask the vendors if they are pleased with their sales, if their sales were above what they anticipated, but I don't think it's any of my business. I never ask them what their sales are.
Hey, like what do we? How many thousands of dollars do we do over there?
Well, it's like a Sola salon. They're renting their booth space. It's the think of the way that the business is set up. We rent booth space, but that's their business. We're that umbrella that provides the electricity and the marketing and the.
Let's do some like back the napkin math. If you have like, what do you say? How many weeks in the summer is it?
22.
22 weeks in the summer, and on what do you think the average amount of guests are?
Between 50, I would say 5,800.
Times okay.
If everyone spent $10.
And if everyone spent $10, which is so low, no chance they're spending $10.
I don't know what you're buying, but yeah.
I was just making it easy on your math.
Like that's like $1.3 million spent at a farmer's market.
And
If everyone only spent, and if you're only spending $10, like come on.
But and I also would like you to remember, we just like the Chris Kindle Mart, we bring all of those people to the center of Carmel. So those people are probably spending their time in the area, whether it's buying gasoline, maybe they're going to lunch afterwards, maybe they're going and staying for a festival that the city is producing. So again, it's an economic engine for the city.
Yeah.
Last summer, Nate, we welcomed 126,800 guests in 22 weeks.
Wow. That's incredible. Wow. Really, really cool. An awesome part of the Carmel community and a fun business to kind of like dive into, like how that all works. And the opportunities you're providing for these, maybe small family owned businesses or like legacy businesses, like my dad's Sweet Corn, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right? Like 26 years in a row being at the Carmel.
He is, the farm that he's on, he's either the third or fourth generation
That
corn
is,
grower on that property.
that's amazing.
And we've expanded this year. I think we've gotten a little smarter with the way that we are bringing in on our sponsors. And so our sponsors are more about the wellness, and they want to take advantage of the number of people that are coming to the market. And so we have sponsors that pay to be at the market each weekend. And my favorite story these days is the concierge doctor who has chosen to relocate to Carmel. And so we have a doctor who's paying sponsorship dollars to be on site to introduce his product to that 126,000. Last weekend, if you've been in central Indiana, you remember it was quite windy. And unfortunately, we had an incident where one of the children got hurt. So they got hit in the head with something that was flying from the wind. Well, we had a doctor on site who was able to look at that child and make sure that child was okay.
You need a doctor, it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so we have our sponsors, and our sponsors are more in the health and wellness than they are the food business.
Yeah.
So we have a nice complement that allows us to keep the prices low to let those vendors come on and grow their business.
Yeah.
That's true.
IU Health North is our presenting sponsor, and they've been with us for a number of years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And the amount of volunteers and the community effort that all comes together to make Carmel Farmers Market one of the biggest farmers markets in the state of Indiana is incredible. And it's a good time. I would highly recommend anyone go out and check it out and see what all the hype's about. We are going to get into some fun lightning round questions here at the end as we kind of talk through when people do show up. What's your guys' like top three? Like if you could only pick 3 vendors, and you had to,
that.
yeah,
You can't do that to us.
or if you had to say like these are 3 like first timers, you need to go try these 3 vendors.
If you're looking for a good sandwich, I would go to we have a Polish vendor who is from Poland, and their food is amazing. Fabulous food.
The Polish vendor.
Yeah, and
What's it called?
It's Gosia's Rustic Kitchen, and Gosia is her name in Polish.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so we're
fabulous
first
food.
time there. You're showing up at the Polish tent.
Oh, fabulous
100%.
I love it. Okay.
Always get asked about coffee.
ICR, like Indie Coffee Roasters, is really good. It's like they have an awesome spot like just down the street a little
They
bit
have several
too.
spots now.
The Mission Coffee, and they do a little like chocolate mocha thing. It is phenomenal.
People always ask, why is there such a line in the back? Circle City Sweets, French pastries. We always get asked about that because the line is tremendous. And of course the corn. We can't end the segment without corn. I want a breakfast sandwich. Where do I go? And there's no easy answer. There are so many vendors. So we have to say, are you looking for a crepe? Are you looking for an egg?
Are you looking for a walking waffle?
Are you
There
looking
you
for
go.
a walking waffle? Are
We
you
sell arepas.
a rapist? Exactly.
I had one of those last year. I did an arepa and a waffle the same day. I'm crazy.
You
No.
took a big nap in the afternoon, didn't you?
But that's a really common question we get asked.
Right.
I got asked last weekend, where's the popcorn? So I have to say, well, are you looking for kettle corn or are you looking for salted popcorn? Because we have a vendor that makes popcorn both places.
Yeah. Each of you have clearly dedicated a lot to the Carmel Farmers Market. And just like farmers markets in general, you seem to know a ton. I want to know, what's your most memorable farmers market memory?
Be standing in line at the chili cook-off 4 years ago. We have the firefighters come in, and each year our firefighters do each fire station. We pick a food, and then the city comes together and they taste the different chilies or the different cobblers from the fire stations, and then they pick the winner. And so every year there's a fire station with the winning whatever kind of food. And I distinctly remember standing in line and looking up over the Palladium, and there was a black line in the sky. It was a distinct black line like I have never seen before, like a movie black line where the cloud is just perfect. And then the wind gust that came up over the straight line with the straight line windstorm and took the tents away. That's my distinct memory.
And I will tell you, Nate, there are 4 legs, obviously, to a canopy. We have our canopy in like a cement bucket, all 4 of the legs. There were 4 of us holding on, one to each one of the legs. I was one of them. I went airborne,
No
and
way.
I'm not a lightweight.
There was like a tornado?
It was
straight line.
a straight line wind.
Straight line wind.
One of our vendors is a meteorologist. He's with the Department of Homeland Security. And,
What?
Yes.
So he
In his free time, he sells meat at the farmer's market.
He puts the weather on. He's got a monitor above his tent, and he puts when there's going to be bad weather, he'll put the weather up so people can see to know when to go indoors.
That's wild.
He writes the emergency plan for us every year, so that, and I distribute to every one of the vendors, and all the volunteers read it. So if there is ever an emergency of any type, we are all prepared to do. Because that's a very confined space to have that many people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Susan, what's your?
Probably my, and this doesn't have anything to do with the vendors, but I so enjoy watching down in the amphitheater where the music is, the tons of little kids just enjoying themselves so much every single Saturday. Just, mom and dad are sitting around eating breakfast, and there are just tons of kids down there dancing and playing around.
Yeah,
They just love
that's
it.
a good
It's
memory.
just a real community gathering space.
Okay, I have 2 final of these questions to go. One, I need you to stay with me on this one, okay? If you were trapped in the Carmel Farmers Market for a month and could only eat from one vendor, what vendor would you live off of for a month?
James's Juice and the Live Project, because I know I'd come out healthy after a month.
There you go, 30 days.
I'd have a 30-day juice cleanse.
Okay, that's a good one. What's it called?
That's a good one.
The Live Project.
The Live Project.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal person.
What
James's
James's story?
Oh, James's story. James was a special ed education teacher at Lawrence High School, and he went to the doctor one day, and the doctor told him that he was pre-diabetic,
I think he said.
and that
He wasn't
needed
healthy.
He needed to change his lifestyle, and he said, you need to consider something. So he researched, and started juicing. And one Saturday, he showed up at the market with a belt that had 7 little bottles wrapped around his waist, and he said, I make juice, and I'd like to be a vendor here at the market. And it's like, okay, dude. It's like,
I'm not trying your belt juice.
Yeah, exactly. But one of our volunteers said, well, I'd like to try it. And, he's a success story. He is now, and I can't reveal who, but he's now pretty soon going to be, his juices will be available in one of the local grocery stores. So he's another one of our...
Stay tuned for more.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome. That's a really cool story, too,
yeah.
about, like, turning a passion project and, like, a lifestyle change into a business and then growing. That's so awesome. It's called The Live Project?
Yeah.
Oh, congrats. All right, we'll have to go check that out.
You'll have to check it out. Yeah, when
Now
you come.
but if you were trapped in the farmer's market for a month,
I would like to have an oven, because I would go to the food florist. We have a vendor who makes prepared frozen meals, pop in the oven, they come out in an hour, they are absolutely delicious.
that's a really good one. Okay.
Have you tried any of their food?
I haven't yet, but I see them and I'm like, always. This will be the summer. I'll get one this. You have my commitment on that.
Okay.
So you talk about James showing up with his juice belt. Final question from this belt.
Yeah,
Is there a vendor pitch that is just very memorable? That, like someone wanted to be in the farmer's market so bad?
People come up to the committee tent, as Randy says, all the time and say, what does it take to be a vendor here? What, da, 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 da. And my first question to them always is, what is the product that you wish to sell? Because we don't allow Pella windows. We don't allow Cairo. There are a number of products.
Pella windows?
Oh, yeah.
What are Pella windows?
Oh, that's a brand of windows.
Literally.
Like
windows.
glass pane windows.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
People want to, because again, we bring 4,500 to 7,500
They're
eyeballs.
going to look. So this lady said to me, she said, I'd like to be a vendor here. And I said, what is the product that you like to sell? And she said, I haven't decided yet. It's like, really? but as she's standing there looking at the thousands of people, it's like, I'll come up with something because I know this is where I want to be.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same. I'm like, dang, I was looking at it. It's like 50% of the product has to be like produced by your. I'm like, what could I produce 50% of here? I want to sell something at the mic. This seems like a fun time. She's like, I don't know, but I don't know what.
I don't know, but I'd
That's
like to
memorable. All right, these are the same 3 questions that I ask everyone who comes on the show as we wrap it out. First off, thank you so much for coming on and sharing the story of the Carmel Farmers Market.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun, and it's really cool to learn more about this thing that maybe we take for granted. Like it's there every Saturday morning, 22 Saturdays in a row during the summer, and then there's the winter market.
24.
They only take 6 weeks off, people. Get your butt to the farmer's
They
market.
take 2 weeks off in October and the month of April.
In the month of April.
The month of April, so we can transition and get everything ready.
Where's the winter market at?
Right up the street at 611 3rd Avenue Southwest, right across to the north of the Palladium, right across City Center Drive is Solano 1.
You can't miss it.
And
It
right
actually
behind it.
says Carmel Winters Market, and there are large butterflies on the outside.
Can't miss
We
it.
had Jules Muck, an internationally known muralist, come and paint butterflies and bees and
That's amazing.
sunflowers.
Wait, so I don't know the street names in Carmel, but just like direct. If I'm at like where, like that's roundabout where like Matt the Miller's Tavern is, where do I go?
Go
Straight down?
one block to the west, and you're at the roundabout where the Palladium is, and turn to the north and go a half a block, and you're right there.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
following. Yep, nice. The work that you guys are doing is super important. It's an institution in the city of Carmel. So continue the great work, and I'm excited to come and visit this summer. So
Good.
here are our final 3 questions.
Hit me.
We'll go boom, 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 boom. All right. So first thing, Randy, what's something the world needs to know about Indiana?
There's more than corn in Indiana.
Even though corn is the number one attraction to the Carmel Farmers Market,
There's still more than
there's
corn.
honey too. Come on, I love that. That's a really good answer. And I mean, as people, Indiana is really relevant nationally right now with like Indy 500, Pacers basketball, Fever, the whole like those are 3 sports things, but like very relevant nationally right now. But there is a ton more than corn. What's something the world needs to know about Indiana?
Even much of the United States is familiar. If you don't know race car driving, you don't know the Indy 500. Like I said, I lived 38 years in Cincinnati. The Indianapolis 500, the day after the race, was maybe the 3rd, 4th, 5th page in, and the article was maybe itty bitty. Nothing to know. So, the world needs to know that 350,000 of your friends are going to be in one space on
Come on, let's
Sunday.
go. I love that. What is a hidden gem in Indiana?
2 of them pop into my mind. One is Indiana Dunes. And the reason is that everybody says, oh, Indiana, you don't have a beach. It's like, no, we have something better than a beach. If you go to Lake Michigan, there's no salt, there's no sharks, and it's fabulous.
I love that. That should be like a tagline. No salt, no
It
salt,
is.
no sharks, no problems.
If you go to St. Joe, Michigan, or New Buffalo, they sell T-shirts that say
there
no
we go.
salt, no shark.
That's pretty good stuff. What was the second one? You said Indiana Dunes.
It's a Studebaker Museum in South Bend. It's fabulous.
I just went on this deep dive. So sometimes I just like see things out there and I like go on my own little history dive. The history of Studebaker Wagon Company that then like evolved into the Studebaker cars that I think went out of business in the late 50s or 60s.
62. My grandfather worked at the South Bend, or the Studebaker Wagon Factory. Started there in 1909.
Wow. and then like went through the evolution where it became a car manufacturer and then eventually goes out of business. But it is like, that business started in like the 18 somethings. Wild. Studebaker Wagon Company.
Yep.
Interesting. That's a really good one. I've never had that one before.
Okay.
Randy, what's a hidden gem in Indiana?
I run into more people who don't realize that across from Newfields is RH, the new RH Restoration Hardware.
Yeah, wait, what's the difference between Restoration Hardware and RH? Or is that just what
They just go
by?
by the initials, JCPenney, JCP, right? Everybody's doing Duncan,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Everybody's going shorter.
RH.
Right. So I always find when I tell people, oh, well, we went and had lunch at RH, and they look at me like, where are you talking about? And I say, oh, yeah, Restoration Hardware bought a house on Michigan Road, and they converted it into an actual showroom so you can see their furniture, and they have a restaurant on site, and it's beautiful and overlooks water. And most people aren't even aware it's there.
No clue. That's a really good one too. Wow, these are two really good hidden gems. Final question of the day. Randy, we're going to start here. You get to share the love. That's how we learn about new guests or hear about other interesting people. Maybe they're vendors. Could be anything. But who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar? Someone who's doing big things.
I believe Caitlin Clark is such a great brand ambassador for the state of Indiana and for young girls.
I like the last part you said there too. Like the way that she has just...
She's changed the face of girls' sports nationally, let alone Indiana.
Yeah, and it's like through what she's doing on a basketball court, like more talk shows, more ESPN time, more television contracts. Like I loved their schedule release where it's like every game or sold out, something like that. And it's like every game is sold out. Like every game's a home game.
WNBA.
Bang. I love that. All right. That's going to be tough to top.
How about our market manager, Susan Bock?
Yes.
How about
everyone needs
who brings fresh food?
from
and
all
wellness.
across the state
Exactly.
to Carmel, Indiana. I mean, amazing. And does it as a volunteer. Imagine loving your community that much and wanting to
Get up at 4:45 every Saturday
like
in the
thank
summer.
you for doing that and like
Oh, no,
managing all the different vendors from all across the state.
Hey, it takes a village. There are 40 of us that volunteer together, and we all, if it weren't for each other, we wouldn't be able to produce what we do.
Susan, before we go, you have to tell Nate about our oldest vendor, the lady who has the most years.
Okay, we have a vendor who is
Or vendor, a volunteer.
a volunteer, who is 89 years old. And she hasn't been with the market as long as I have, but she is probably, 4'9", 4'10". She's a little bitty thing, but she's from Martinsville. She's lived in Indiana her entire life. Her name's Marilyn, and she is a total spitfire.
89 years old,
she's
still
89.
volunteering at the farmers
Still
market.
volunteering.
What's her gig?
She is a counter. So that's how we know how many people come to the market. There are 5 entrances to the market, each, the 4 corners and through the garage, and they have a little clicker, and they count every person that comes in. And every half hour, Randi at the committee tent asks for their numbers. And while it's not 100% accurate, it's pretty close.
Wow.
And Marilyn
Stands there in the heat of the summer.
Yep,
And greets every person who comes in on her corner, her entrance.
What's her name?
Marilyn.
Okay. Marilyn is 89, is a volunteer at the Carmel Farmers Market. When you see her, make sure you're nice.
Everybody's nice to Marilyn. Everybody knows Marilyn. She's an institution.
Heck
She
yeah.
is.
I love that. I got to go say hi to her.
Oh, and our second oldest vendor, I think, or volunteer, is 87. I mean, there are tons of us that are in our 70s, 60s, and 70s. But now it's nice that we're getting the young people to, the brute strength to help.
Exactly. I love it. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing about the Carmel Farmers Market. I'm really excited to get out there this summer and keep up all the good work.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Get In. If you like what you heard, make sure you leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is made possible by our friends up at Sweetwater. Whether you're looking to start a podcast or take your content to the next level, click the link in the description to see all my gear recommendations at sweetwater.com. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at everything we're doing across the state, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nate Spangler. Thank you so much for listening and being part of what makes the Hoosier State great. We'll see you next time here on Get In.